I'm delighted to say that I'm joined by Nick Compton here today at Lord's. Nick, I'm sure I speak on behalf of all fans of the club in welcoming you back after 5 years at Somerset. What's it like to be back, and has the place changed too much?
It's quite strange. It sort of feels like in many ways I was here yesterday. I suppose the offices and everything's still in the same place. Lord's is still looking pretty similar to the way it did 5 years ago. So apart from being a little bit older with the odd speck of grey hair coming through, there's not much has changed really.
Well, I know you haven't been back in the country for too long, but have you had a chance to meet up with the boys yet that you're going to be playing with this season?
Yeah, I've seen a few of them. I've got a couple of good friends in the team from years gone by. So no, it's always great to come back to a place that you've played at. I grew up here. I played a lot of junior cricket. Right back in the under-15s with Phil Nappert and Andy Wagner, and so and even back coming to visit my grandfather when I was 12, 13 years old before he passed away. So a lot of fond memories. But like with every career, you have ups and downs, and my time away at Somerset has been a great time for me, and hopefully I can use what I've learned down there and some of the experiences and bring it back to Lord's this time around.
Terrific. Well, you've had a hit this morning, Nick. You're back in the groove. You've had a winter over in South Africa. You've had some cricket over there. How's the pre-season coming along for you?
It's gone nice. I think there's always a tendency in pre-season. All the teams come back together, and there's this new sort of rejuvenated energy and excitement for the season. I think sometimes, as you get a bit older and you play more and more seasons in county cricket, there's a tendency to want to get at it very quickly. And I think if you're wise and just composed, there's a lot of time to get yourself up and running. There's no need to really hit the ground running right now, although it's nice to. I think you really want to be playing your best cricket at the middle of the year and really sort of peak going into the end of the season. So for me, there's no mad rush. I think there's been some good work done out in Cape Town. There's some quality work out there with Gary Kirsten, who I've built up a good relationship with. He's a fantastic guy, and done a bit of work in the indoor school now. So for the last couple of weeks. So yeah, I sort of feel like I'm in a good place to really get outdoors now and see the boys, get a bit of Tim Merter wobbling it around in the on the green surfaces, and get a few on the inner thigh and wear those early season.
Well, Nick, you mentioned it only seemed like yesterday that you were last here. Staggeringly, it certainly doesn't seem like 13 years ago that you made your debut for the club. Yeah. What was it like as a kid walking out there at Lord's? Oh,
look, I mean, as cliched as it sounds, it's always been a dream to one play at Lord's, but to go out there, open the batting. I remember opening the batting with Andrew Strauss at one stage, and that was a massive honour for me. When I made my debut, I remember my first significant score at Lord's, which was 100 against Kent in the second innings. And you look at some of the names that were in that team: your Strausses, your Koenigs, your Shahs, your Joyces, who's doing very well now for Ireland. Guys that I really looked up to and learned so much from. And it's great to come back now in a different seat, almost in a more of a senior player situation, and realise how far maybe I've come as well. If I look back to those days, I just wanted to play in a game, and I just wanted to play with my heroes. Stephen Fleming probably add to that list as well. So you never look too much further. You never know if you're going to get any further, or if you're actually going to get to where I probably am now. So I suppose it's with a wry smile that I look back and think it's going to be nice walking out there again and almost looking through different eyes.
Well, you've come a long way, Nick, in the 5 years since you left us. I mean, you had 5 outstanding years down at Somerset. I think you had 1,000 runs in 4 of them. You had an outstanding year in 2012, 1,500 runs at nearly 99, I think, which led to your England call-up. Gus obviously is now on the selection panel. He mentioned when we signed you that he felt he'd signed the best English cricketer not to be playing Test cricket. That must give you some hope that the ambition to get back in the England side isn't too far away. Yeah,
I think the ambition has to be there. It certainly has been the driving force behind my cricket for as long as I can remember. It was a dream to play international cricket, and to achieve that and win in Mumbai and win that Test series out in India, and then again score a couple of hundreds in New Zealand are things that I suppose when you look back you think those are great experiences that I'd rather have had than not had. I think having had that taste, having had a bit of success and a few lows, I'd be wrong in saying that I'm still very ambitious of trying to earn my place back. I think there are places for grabs. I think I have been one of the more sort of consistent performers in county cricket over the 4 or 5 years. So you're right. I mean, Gus is around, but at the same stage, I think for me to come back here to earn the respect of my new teammates, I think is number one priority for me. I think I've always enjoyed going out there and playing that sort of that solid role, and that role where I think you can earn the respect of your teammates. And you know, I sort of felt like I did that successfully at Somerset, and it's something that, you know, it's not something you just walk straight back into in a new team. You know, there's things to earn back here, and I'm looking forward to that opportunity. But I think if I can do that, then, you know, I'm hoping that being here, being around Gus, and maybe showing some of those qualities, that maybe they will, you know, be seen in a slightly different light, and maybe put to use on the international stage again.
It's funny, I suppose, Nick. I mean, arguably, well, not arguably, Cookie's obviously got one of those opening berths. Where it comes arguable is the person you may well replace is Sam Robson, who's clearly going to be a new teammate here at Middlesex. How well do you know Sam?
I know Sam pretty well, very well. I mean, I opened the batting with him in my last year at Middlesex, and, you know, I wouldn't say came through the ranks with him, but very much saw him as a young player coming up, and, you know, he's done fantastically well. He's a top lad. I think everyone would say the same thing. He works incredibly hard. I think the partnership that he formed with Buck Rogers, Chris Rogers up the top was, you know, obviously very, very crucial to Middlesex's success over the last few years, you know, in terms of championship cricket. You know, I think they've really provided that platform. And that's something that, you know, Sam has taken a lot of credit from. He's done very well. He's in the England team at the moment, and yeah, I think there's nothing like a bit of healthy competition. You know, I think Sam's someone that I would probably look to work with. I think we both like talking about the intricacies of the game and technique and what have you, and, you know, hopefully I can take a few things off him, because I think, you know, as soon as you start looking at yourself as in a different sort of position to someone, I think you stop that learning. And yeah, I think there's no buts about it. I want to come here, I want to play well, and I want to score a lot of runs, you know, and I'm sure Sam wants to do the same. And you know, from that point of view, I think it's going to be a really healthy partnership.
I couldn't agree more. If we can get the both you firing at the top order, we're in good shape. Nick, you obviously know Sam, you know a few of the other boys. You talked about Murta wobbling around. You won't surprise you to hear that he's still doing that. What do you make of the Middlesex side? I mean, you know a few of the lads. You've probably yet to meet some of them.
Yeah.
What do you think our aspirations are for this year ahead?
I think it's easy to sit here and start to sort of say winning trophies, and you hear a lot of chief execs and different clubs saying, you know, winning trophies and something. I think sometimes you have to be realistic. I don't think it's beyond the realms of possibility to win a trophy here at all. I think for me, you know, we've lost one or two senior players, although you're getting, you know, the likes of Adam Voges coming in, James Franklin, some very good signings. And I think, you know, it's about sort of all fitting in the best way that we can. But I think if you put down 11 or 12 or 13 names, I think there's a nucleus of a very strong squad, a very strong team. But fundamentally, it's up to the individuals to play their best cricket at the right times. And, you know, I think having a good team spirit and all that sort of thing is fantastic. But we need to play well. You know, your best players need to perform. You know, Stephen Finn, how much are we going to see of him? Not sure. Tim Murta has been such a stalwart and a good player for Middlesex for a number of years. Can he play well? You know, if we can all sort of play our best cricket and really improve our own individual performances, you know, by 10 to 15%, then, you know, if you look at the quality and the talent in the room, I think there's a real opportunity to play well. Well,
that sounds like a beautiful high point to end on. Nick, pleasure as always. Thanks for coming in. All the very best of luck on your return to the club, and I hope it goes well, mate.
Thanks, Fletch. Yeah, and just really looking forward to it. I hope we can have a really consistent and good season.